record. Welcome everyone to another soil seminar online. We are very happy today to have Maria del Pilar Zamora-Tavares. She is a PhD in science on biosystematics, ecology, and management of natural and agricultural resources. And she has published 21 scientific articles in different journals and also 2 book chapters. She also got a grant, a postdoctoral grant by CONACYT to stay at the Autonomous University of Querétaro. And currently, she is a member of the National System of Researchers Level 1 in Mexico and an associate professor at the University of Guadalajara since 2016. She is working on projects related to taxonomy and evolution of Mexican plants using chloroplast genomes and anatomy. And today she's going to tell us more about Physalis, the big diversity of Physalis in Mexico, and as well some taxonomical changes, mostly nomenclatural changes, as the new genus now named cataract. And with that, thank you very much, Pilar, for being here and presenting more the news about Physalis, and you can share your script.
Thank you, Rocio, and thank all for being here. Well, I want to apologize in advance because I have a little flu or cold, and I have I maybe have to cough in between the presentation. Is my screen is shared, Rocio?
Actually, yes, but we can. It's not the full mode. Okay, yeah. Now it's perfect.
Well, I want to talk to you about these beautiful plants that are Physalis, in particular in Mexico. That since we have vast diversity of the species in our country. This work was developed between Mainda, Ophelia, and myself. And well, I want to tell you about these beautiful plants. Physalis has been the subject of a large amount of research to determine its genetic limits, to address taxonomic problems, and describe cryptic species. These plants are of economic interest because of their fleshy, edible fruits, some of which are cultivated and others which are gathered from their wild population, are food or medicine. As currently circumscribed, Physalis is an American genus, which with its diversity center of the United States with 28 species, Mexico with 61 species, Central America with 22 species, 2 of which are endemic and absent from Mexico, and the West Indies, although we don't have currently an estimate of how many species are there, and 2 species are restricted to South America. According to Powell, there are 95 species in the world. 95 species in the world. Well, in Mexico, in 2017, Martinez and collaborators report 65 species. And now, based on works that address taxonomic change, this number was reduced to 61. Even so, Physalis is the second genus of Solanaceae. Excuse me. Physalis is the second genus of Solanaceae with the most species in Mexico. We reviewed plant material deposits in Mexican and some virtual herbarium in the United States and confirmed and correct previous identification. Extensive collections have been made from most Mexican states, with emphasis on the north, west, and center of Mexico. We georeference specimens whenever was possible and included in the dataset. The conservation status of most Mexican species was evaluated in 2017 by Martinez and Vargas, applying the IUCN criteria. The status of each species can be consulted in the IUCN website. We tried to locate all the type material designated in the protolog for this revision. Only Physalis campechana and Physalis lagaska remain without a type, since suitable specimens are probably deposited in European herbaria to which we have no access. Now I will describe to you the most beautiful plants in the world according to my criteria. And Physalis has three types of habits. There can be annuals like Physalis angulata. They can be rhizomatous plants, like you can see in the picture with Luis Valdivias holding a Physalis one individual of Physalis cenopoifolia with the massive rhizoma, and also can be shrubs or weak subfrutas. You can see here in the picture to Ophelia Vargas, which is holding Physalis donchilova. We estimate that the plant measures like 2.5 or 3 meters of length, and these plants lean on other plants. The leaves are alternate, but in many cases the upper leaves are geminate, and on some occasions they are geminate throughout the plant. Geminate leaves usually have a large leaf accompanied by a smaller one, which is frequently half the size, but the smaller one has the same shape as the rest. Trichomes can be simple, glandular, or branched. I'm sorry. Corolla shapes is of the flowers of Physalis can be rotate to campanulate. Is the most frequent form. They can be 5-angled or 5-lobed, but these lobeless can be very small. There also are in the on some few species have a tubular corolla like Physalis glutinosa, Physalis crassifolia, Physalis campanula, and Physalis microcarpa. The other form that only have one species is Ursula, like Physalis solanacea. The color can vary from white to orange, but the most frequent color is yellow. They also have a macula that can be formed by one single solid spot or many dots that like Physalis costomat. And this character can be diagnosed. Most of the species of Physalis have a solitary pendulous axillary flower. The exceptions are Physalis aggregata that have short internodes between each flower, and they can seem like it's a fascicle. Another species that can be fascicle or have 2 or more flowers per node are Physalis campechiana and Physalis pelarnocistis. But more frequently, the flowers can be gonna be solitary. The fruit of Physalis is always a 2-carpellate berry that is usually juicy. These fruits mature in different colors. They can be green, yellow, orange, purple, or almost black. A few species present a dry pericarp, and their fruits are brown when mature, like Physalis nicandroides. Flavors are acidic, bitter, or sweet, and in a few species, the fruit is strongly glutinous with a fetid odor. Fruits are covered by a crescent calyx, which take different shapes. Sometimes the calyx is evidently tencostate, and in other cases is strongly 5-angular. However, a few species have an intermediate position in which some of the nerves are more prominent than others. The insertion of the peduncle can be strongly invaginated, but invagination might be absent in other species. The fruiting calyx is green in immature fruits and becomes yellow or brown when the fruits are mature. Only Physalis campesiana and Physalis melanocystis have purple or almost black fruiting calyx, as you can see in this picture. About the seeds, all the species of Physalis have a reniform shape, and are compressed. The color varies from yellow to dark brown, and the size varies to 1 to 3 millimeters in Mexican species. The testa is described as foveolate. Of the 61 species that we recognize as part of the Mexican flora, 10 have a wide distribution that includes to the north and to the United States, central, and in the south, also can reach Central and South America and the West Indies. 7 species are distributed in Mexico on the southern portion of the United States. 8 grow in Mexico and Mesoamerica, and other 66 species are endemic to Mexico. 18 of which are microendemic to one state or a few locations to a mountain range. Because of this, Mexico is considered a diversification center of Physalis. The largest number of species is concentrated in the mountains that cross Mexico in the central part, especially in the west part. The conservation status of most Mexican species was evaluated in 2017 by Vargas and Martinez, applying the IUCN criteria. Data for 2 species were deficient for risk category assessments, and 53 species have status at least concerned or not threatened. Under the scheme of the different threat drivers according to the Union for Conservation of Nature, Physalis species are threatened to the climate change, as you can see here. The climate change, logging and mining, livestock farming, and ranching, and housing and commercial developments. Although there are many microendemic species of Physalis, only these 5 are in a risk category. As you can see in the photos, I show the habitat of Physalis aggregata. In 2013, we were there and found abundant population, many individuals. This past September, and this year, we only found one individual and significant extension of the hill with a change of soil use to put greenhouse or livestock. It's really concerned the status of Physalis aggregata in this location. In Mexico, 16 wild species are locally used as food and for medicinal purposes. The edible fruits of some Physalis species are nutritionally important. Some are harvested from their natural population for consumption. The flavor of the fruits can be sweet or sour, and they are consumed fresh or in jam, sauces, and other dishes. In particular, Physalis philadelphica is cultivated extensively in Mexico and to a lesser extent in Guatemala, Nicaragua. And in Mexico, we really like Physalis philadelphica. We consume about 5.3 kilograms per capita per year. And it is the fifth horticultural crop in Mexico. It is also exported to United States, United Arab Emirates, the United Kingdom, France, Poland, and other countries in Europe. We recently found Physalis grigia in some supermarkets. Near my house, I can find Physalis grigia, which is grown in central Mexico under greenhouse conditions. And we are currently evaluating the agromorphological characteristic of Physalis gracilis, which has a sweet tasting fruit to promote that can be promoted as an alternative for consumption. Now, the taxonomic history of Physalis is complex due to controversies regarding the diagnostic characters, traditional use for its classification. From Linnaeus to Ritter, the characters commonly used for its classification included habit, flower arrangement, shape, and fruiting calyx, and pubescence. Waterfall monographed the vast majority of species. His study was followed by several nomenclatural changes and the discovery of new species. The last work that includes classification of Physalis was performed by Martinez, and she proposed an impressionistic classification based on habit, flower arrangement, flower and fruit morphology, trichome micromorphology, habit, and geographical distribution. According to Martinez, Physalis have 4 subgenera. There are subgenus Physalis, subgenus Quincula, subgenus Physalodendron. There are 4 subgenera. There are Physalis, Physalodendron, Quincula, and Rydbergis. The latter, the subgenus Rydbergis, have 9 sections. The molecular evidence does not support the proposal of Martinez. Under this concept of genus Physalis is paraphyletic. However, the subgenus Rydbergis is monophyletic and includes 75 American native species. The paraphyly of Physalis has been partially resolved by segregating species as for Physalis alkekenyi as Alkekenyi officinarum and Physalis carpentieri as Caliphysalis carpentieri. This nomenclatural change was made by Whitson, Maggie Whitson. This implied the proposal of Physalis pubescens as the new nomenclatural type for the genus. This nomenclatural change was made also by Whitson. Physalis lobata, which was recognized by Martinez as monotype subgenus, was rehabilitated as a genus by Barbosa. However, full taxonomic changes are needed to make Physalis as monophyletic group. As you can see, Physalis remains paraphyletic because species of the subgenus Physalodendron, depending on the data, might or might not share a most recent common ancestor with the subgenus Rudbergis. Furthermore, Physalis microphysa does not share a common ancestor with either of these two subgenera. So, to continue contributing to the monophyly of Physalis, we elevate Physalis microphysa to the genus level and name it Cataracta in honor of Axel Waterman. Initially, all the phylogenies that include this taxon indicate that it does not share a recent common ancestor with Physalis. And we can see in this phylogeny that was prepared at the genus level with 6 chloroplast regions and 3 nuclear regions. Cataracta shares one common ancestor with Chamesaraca. But this phylogenetic position is also unstable. It is important to highlight that this position is not stable and depends on the datasets. On the other hand, we based our proposal on the morphological difference, particularly in that the calyx of the fruit does not close completely, and its lobes of the calyx can twist backwards, and the type of fruit which can be described as the essence dry berry. It is very interesting. That breaks into irregular portions, exposing the seeds. Furthermore, in the anatomical section, you can notice a thick cuticle, which is not present in Physalis berries. Finally, we also found that the species of the subgenus Physalodendron might constitute a different taxon, since they are shrubby species with fasciculated flowers and evidently lobed corolla. Furthermore, as you can see in this consensus tree, using the entire chloroplast genome and 3 nuclear regions, Physalis melanocystis is a representative of the subgenus, does not share the most common ancestor with species of the subgenus Rudbergis. So further work and taxonomical changes are coming. And this is all that I want to share with you. Thank you for your attention. Mainda, Ophelia, and I, we are very happy with this work. Thank you.
Thank you, Pilar. That was great. It's really, really nice talk and seeing all the news in this Physalidine subtribe. So we are now open for questions. Please use your hand, or you can also write your question in the chat, and I'll translate it to Spanish or English, so we can chat. And in the meantime, until someone actually provides a question, yo tengo una pregunta. Por un lado, en la filogenia está en preparación de Sandoval. ¿No hay leucophysalis para ver si están más estrechamente relacionados a cataracta, que era lo que hemos obtenido antes?
Me parece que no pudimos. Tenemos una secuencia parcial solamente, entonces no se incluyó en este análisis porque no está completo, ¿no? Pero Isaac Sandoval Padilla, él hizo una, me parece que él hizo una filogenia incluyendo estas pocas lecturas y no recuerdo muy bien la posición filogenética. Por aquí anda Isaac, probablemente él nos pueda decir si, si recuerdan dónde, con quién comparte un ancestro común. ¿Por quién preguntaste? Por
Catarata, sí.
cataracta, sí. Ah, bueno, sí, claro, porque en la filogenia que tú obtuviste en 2019, leucophysalis y cataracta estaban juntas, ¿cierto?
Sí, por eso.
Ujú.
So sorry,
Sí,
I'm going to translate this in English. What I'm
así.
asking actually is about if in this phylogeny with plastoms, if the Pilar and Sandoval Padilla and collaborators, they're including Leucophysalis species because in previous results in our phylogeny of 2019, if I recall well, Cataracta Leucophysalis were placed together. And Pilar is saying that probably they're going to include it soon, and there's no complete sequences of these leucophysalis. That's why they're not included in this version of the phylogeny. Voy a seguir con las siguientes preguntas. Entonces, Vicenzo Verelo pregunta si Physalis produce néctar.
Sí, tiene, bueno, tiene unos estomas en la base del ovario. Creo que hace 2 semanas alguien presentó al respecto de los nectarios en Solanance. Bueno, no, discúlpame, a lo mejor lo leí mal, pero bueno, tiene unos estomas nectaríferos en la base de la corola, del ovario. Entonces, sí, aunque no es así como muy evidente.
No tiene néctar de color, es transparente.
No, no.
Y están todas las especies, estos tomas nectaríferos.
Los que hemos revisado hasta ahorita, Mainda está haciendo microscopía electrónica de barrido, viendo justamente sus tomas y no detectamos, todavía no hemos visto ninguna especie que no tenga esos estomas.
Yeah. So Vicenzo, about the Physalis producing nectar, well, the same Pilar that there is nectariferous stomata in the base of the ovary. In most of the species, the ones that they have analyzed, this nectar is not very conspicuous, it's transparent, but it's there for all the species that they have checked. And then there is a question of Mylopine, so saying that Quincula will be correctly a Physalis. No,
no,
no. Now, Quincula, yeah, Pilar.
Por favor, no, adelante, por favor, ya tiene la respuesta.
Quincula is a monotypic genus. The only species is Quincula lobata. It's very conspicuous, purple flower, very similar to Camisaracha. And actually, depending on the phylogeny, we are having really like closer relationships of Quincula with Camisaracha or not. And the Quincula has this particular kind of water glands in the entire plant. And so it was resurrected as a different genus back in 2000, yeah, 2000 by Gloria Barbosa. Yeah.
And the aneuploidy, it's another character that it says that Quincula is another genus.
Yes, according to phylogeny and according to cytogenetics, because it's an aneuploid. It's the only species in the entire tribe with 11 chromosomes as the basic number. So Janet Sullivan, I don't know, Milo, do you want to say something or ask something else?
No, I think you did a good job of that. There's just a lot of evidence that, as you mentioned, the chromosomes, the secondary compounds, the floral morphology, the hair morphology, just so many things. There's really no reason to, and as you show on the phylogeny with the plastomes and the DNA, there's just no reason to still be calling Quincula Physalis.
Mhm.
But you did it. You did a great explanation. Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Really. And there's still so much to do in Physalis, as you've illustrated. It's nice to see that it's still getting attention and still being worked on.
Yes, it means a lot to me to hear you, Janet Sullivan. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks, Janet. There are a lot of congratulations about the research and the presentation from, well, Janet, Helen Dean, as well. Lynn Boss saying that she can't believe the morphological diversity for the Physalis. And regarding that, what is that species with the black calyces, fruiting calyces?
Melanocystis.
Melanocystis, right? Yeah, the weird. What are you going to do with Melanocystis campesiana?
We want to segregate it also. They are working on. Yes.
Good.
The 15 genus to the subtribe. Yes.
Yeah. Another new. Yeah.
I think that Federico Roda have a question.
¿Cómo?
Sí,
Federico
sí.
Roda.
Yeah, sure. I cannot see like all.
Sí, hola Pilar, ¿me oye?
Hola. Sí.
Espero que se acuerde de mí. Si quiere le pregunto en español.
Por favor, sí.
Pilar, es una pregunta sobre los usos de los Physalis. Nosotros en el laboratorio trabajamos en colaboración con Rocío y eso, en los guitanólidos y en usos medicinales, ¿sí? Pues más que en usos medicinales, con los guitanólidos que tienen usos medicinales y Witania somnífera es muy importante como planta medicinal en Asia. Y yo le quería preguntar qué tanto las Physalis, que también tienen guitanólidos, se usan medicinalmente en México o en Centroamérica. ¿Usted sabe eso o sobre todo es para comérselas?
Sí, pues principalmente el uso que nosotros le reconocemos es el comestible. No sé si probablemente Mainda, no sé si anda por aquí, creo que por ahí la vi que todavía está conectada. A lo mejor ella sabe un poquito más, pero bueno, como medicamento lo hemos como reportado muy poco. Sí hay algunas especies, pero es muy poco. Y pues no me viene a la mente así como algo que ya hayan revisado con respecto a estas moléculas en Physalis. Pero si Mainda por aquí, ¿qué anda? ¿Sabe?
Sí, hola, buenos días. Sí, hay varios que se usan como medicinales y hay una persona en la UNAM, Emma Maldonado, que está trabajando muchísimo con la fitoquímica de las especies y los efectos en intestino y otros órganos. Y la cosa es que en México, aparte de las especies que se comen y 2 o 3 que se usan como medicinales, la gente más bien les tiene miedo. O sea, no es muy común que recojan los frutos de especies que no conocen.
¿Por venenosas o qué?
Sí, está mucho la idea de que pueden ser venenosas. Entonces, por ejemplo, en el norte del país, nadie consume más que el tomate verde famoso, ¿no? El de siempre, filadélfica o angulata. Todos los demás, aunque estén sabrosos, no se los comen. O solo usan 2 o 3 especies, sobre todo los rizomas y las hojas.
Ah, más que el fruto.
Sí.
Muy interesante, gracias.
No de nada.
¿Emma Maldonado es el nombre de la persona?
Sí, tiene muchísima fitoquímica de Physalis ya hecha.
Muchas gracias.
Gracias, Pedro, Mainda y Pilar, por esta pregunta. I'm just going to do a little summary for the people who prefer English. that they were talking about the medicinal uses of Physalis. Mostly they were used, like they are specialists in the UNAM, is yes, Maldonado, and actually, yeah, they were saying that mostly they were rhizomes and or roots, actually, more than other parts of the plant sometimes that are used for medicinal uses. And continue, well, Fede had the question, and there's a lot of congrats from Rodrigo, Nicolao, Marco, Nan McCurry, and so I don't know if there are any other questions.
Tengo una pregunta. Sí, sobre las diferencias morfológicas entre las especies, ¿son relacionadas con diferencias locales de los medios ambientes en que viven los Physalis? ¿O hay algo que se sabe sobre este tema?
Bueno, te puedo hablar de mi experiencia con, bueno, desde mi experiencia, ¿no? Todavía no hemos evaluado como caracteres en una filogenia. Y pensando pues también en cómo se relaciona con la parte ecológica. Entonces, lo que te puedo decir es que no vemos una tendencia. La mayor diversificación en México de Physalis, es en esta parte central montañosa de México. Pero México también tiene montañas en el este, en el occidente, en el este, en el oeste y en el sur. Pero en esta parte es una región de montañas muy recientes, entonces más bien, pues parece que todavía no encontramos pues nosotros una tendencia así clara que diga, las perennes van a estar en lugares exclusivamente fríos o solamente en zonas montañosas. No vemos esa tendencia todavía. Pero no lo hemos evaluado tampoco, ¿no?
Gracias, interesante.
Sí.
Gracias. Y con respecto, yo recuerdo en tu trabajo, Pilar, del 2016, cuando hicieron las reconstrucciones ancestrales, me acuerdo que eran de grandes áreas geográficas.
Sí.
¿No se han visto cómo ha sido, digamos, el ancestro de los Physalis en México? Si en una menor área geográfica, si vendrían desde el sur, digo por los fósiles principalmente, ¿no?
Sí.
¿Cómo ha sido la distribución?
Sí, pues toda la evidencia dice que lo más probable es que sí vinieron del sur, ¿no? No he hecho reconstrucción de estados de carácter ancestral, es algo que tengo que hacer también, me gustaría, pero, híjole, no sé, no me atrevo a decir nada todavía, no sé, pero creo, lo más probable es que sí vengan la diversificación haya sido provocada por algunos migrantes del sur, ¿no? Sí, pero gracias. Porque también Physalis me causa mucho ruido en la subtribu. Y entonces, no me animo todavía a decir no.
Physalis y sí, que están alejados, aquí en Kenshi.
Sí, así es.
Sí, hay patrones muy llamativos en la distribución de la subtribu. Y luego de Physalodendron, cataracta, ¿quién queda por ser? Para que Physalis sea monofilético, Ritbergis, que sería Physalis.
Sí, pues Physalis sería solamente las especies de Ritbergis, nada más. Yo no he encontrado ninguna otra especie que no quede dentro de Ritbergis, de las que nos faltan. Entonces, no, Physalis ya quedaría monofilético solamente con el subgénero Ritbergis.
Buenísimo.
Sí.
Ojalá pronto.
Sí. En enero espera la revisión. Espero.
Bien.
Sí.
Bueno, yo creo que si no hay más preguntas, ¿alguien que quiera hacer alguna otra pregunta? En ese caso, in that case, we're finishing this seminar today. Thank you very much again, Pilar, for this great presentation and with all the updates. So in 2 weeks, we will have the next seminar with Juan Urdampilleta about repetitive DNA and cytogenetics of Solanaceae. No, it's not Juan Urdampilleta, it's Mariela Sader who is here. Actually. Sorry, I was a bit confused. Well, thank you everyone for being here and see you in 2 weeks.